Good morning, everybody. Just hopping on for my Power of 3 share today. I had to get my exercise in first because I was a little moody. I was a little irritable. I was a little curmudgeon, as my husband calls me. So I had to get the energy moving, and so now I'm here. I look like a crazy little wreck, but that's okay. I'm more aligned now, and I'm in a better state of receiving. So as always, we're going to start off with our cross breath. So I'll back it up here. I'll find the sun. And as you guys all know, you can hear the kiddos in the house. This here is our perfect visual of the cross breath. When we're breathing in, connecting and merging our God self, our higher self frequencies, with the physical self. The physical self, our experience on Mother Earth with Mother Earth. And when we're holding it, it's culminating, it's expanding, it's releasing. And when we exhale, we want to push all the way out to release all that which does not serve us, but also all that which has made us who we are and helps to create and illuminate the essence of who we are when we breathe out. So we'll take a nice breath in, guys. Hold it. And exhale. We'll take just one more. Oh, sorry. And what it does is it helps to remove the mind. It brings us to the present moment, the present of who we are. All we have available to us is the now. And when we're projecting everywhere else, it's hard for us to be in a total receptive and aware state of what and where we are right this second. And it helps us to connect to the heart of who we are and that heart center. And that is the center, that is the platform, it's the crosshair, it's the connection, it's the communication of all that we are. Here we go. One more breath in. Oops, I cannot see because it's so bright. Holy crap, just a minute, guys. Where is it? Nice deep breath in. And exhale. All right, guys. All right, so I just wanted to bring up a tiny little topic before we pull our paragraph in our card, just to get a little more insight. And the topic is, it's widespread, it's controversial. I'm a little nervous about talking about it, but I'm going to anyways. And it's just, I saw online the other day, someone just posting, what do they think makes people immoral? And I think, and I believe, and this is just my point of view, and just me speaking will help you to internalize and connect to your truth. Because that's another point also. Everything is truth, guys, if you believe it. Because we are God creator and we have the power to choose our reality and create our reality. Whatever that moment is that we choose to believe, it really is our truth because that's what we create. Now, does it mean it's the, thank you, John. Thank you. Does it mean it's the ultimate truth of who we are in spirit and where we've come from? Not necessarily, but it's still part of who we are. If we're all God rays, God reflections, co-creators with God, no matter what experience we have chosen, we have come. We have brought our spiritual God self for this experience. So it is God, the physical vessel is God experiencing himself. It's a way to experience through the senses. It's a way to experience life experientially, not just through theory. And God knows all. God is omnipresent. So it means he's everywhere at once. And that's us, guys. So God is all of us working through us for an experience. And so when we label something immoral, isn't that just a judgment? Isn't that just a judgment call from our limited perception? I think it's just the experience. Every experience is valid because they came in with that contract. They came in on that platform to experience that. So it's our labels, it's our definitions, it is our judgment against a with a limited perception of what someone is experiencing. Now, does that mean we need to incorporate that person's experience in our life? No. We might have already had that experience in another lifetime. The most immoral person could have been a saint in a previous lifetime. They're just experiencing to get the full expression, the depth, the expansion of all perceptions at every different level. What a freaking ass beautiful gift. We can't deny anything because it is the all that makes the all. Every experience, every expression. Now, that does not mean that we need to take in what we don't want to experience in what we may consider immoral or not good or sinful or whatever. It doesn't mean that we need to take on that energy. It just means that we give other people that space to be who they are in that experience. And obviously we stand for our own truth in our own life, and we live in accordance and integrity, and we stand up for what we believe as individuals. So I'm not saying we have to take on those experiences that we don't prefer, because that is the beauty of being a creator. We can create and take on the experiences we want. But look at it this way. Look at what was immoral, like say 50 years ago. A woman was not allowed to go swimming without 1,000,000 layers of clothes. That was immoral. To marry the same sex was immoral. There's to work on Sunday was immoral, and it's all according to whatever the belief system that are in place that are claimed as truth at that moment. Now, I have been brought to tears many a time through what I perceive as immoral behavior on the news and stuff like that. But I also have to know, as a collective and as a collective contracts, we are all signed up for this for a reason, to bring forth and expand it through a higher perception, to infuse it with a greater love. Like, you can even look at the kids that I had a message years ago of like that Sandy Hook shooting in the school and all that, and we can be really stuck in the immorality, the disgustingness of it, all that. But we can take the higher perception and say these kids and these guys all co-created, and we're angels to help us to infuse our world, to infuse our experiences with a greater love. Because in reality, this is just an experience. It's just an illusion per se. It's not the truth, even though the illusion is truth too, because we're experiencing it, we're believing it, we're creating from it. But I'm just saying, we can't get stuck in that limited perception. We create judgment and limitations and barriers when we could take something that seems so horrible and ask for guidance to see the higher awareness of it. Those kids fulfilled their contract. They came and infused the world with an opportunity to see from a higher perception and gain greater love in their heart. Now, would I want to have experienced that? Absolutely not. Would it have killed me? Absolutely yes. But I as creator God, want to create the most beautiful experience in my life. So I always search and look for the love, because everything is based in God at its core, and so everything does contain love and true in the ultimate truth. So I think it is our challenge as humans to extract that, to find that, to rise above it. And you know what? If we did that and we stop labeling and we stop judging moral, immoral, and we just start accepting one another, all of these horrible incidences, I don't personally think we would even experience. Because if we're not placing judgment, and if we're not placing blame, and we're not living from that lower vibration, our world automatically is not going to reflect that vibration. So again, the change always comes from within. We won't bring forth, or our world won't resonate with those vibrations we don't want to experience, if we always operate in love, if we choose to find the higher perception little by little by little, and we create and create and create, and then we won't have all of these what we consider horrific. I can understand the truth of the horrificness, but I also can understand the truth of it happening for a higher, more divine, expansive reasoning. So I guess I'm just challenging us that if you look back 50 years ago, 100 years ago, what was immoral? If someone chooses to hoard money and have all this money and live their life the way they want, and we can consider it greedy or immoral or whatever, and not care about those underneath them, then that's their experience. But also those underneath them have co-contracted with them, and they also have the power to step away. So I don't know. I think it's just time for us to step into our power, guys. Stand up for what you believe, not fight against others and what they believe, but just stand and live your life, your energy. And always search for the light. Always search for the light, the spark within to be gained, because God is in everything. So that means even in the most horrific of incidences, God is present. And when I say God, I don't mean an outside man with a beard. I mean the ultimate vibration of love, light, truth, peace, harmony, all of that. It is in everything. Just like in the palm of my little boy's hand here. This is like one of my cards that, you know what? I'm going to read this today, actually. It was presented and it stood out for a reason. This is Mythos' hand, and I was washing his hands, and I went to get a little soap, and it came out in the perfect shape of a heart. And I just thought this was so beautiful. But, you know, what does soap do? It washes away the germs. Well, how do we wash away the germs and change our world? Through love. Through love, guys. And all the little bubbles representing different little realities. And when we choose to find the love in all, pretty soon our world will just kind of be reflective of that. I'm sorry, I haven't even been watching the comments, guys. Yes, John is absolutely right. Love is always taken the highest road. Absolutely. Holy shit, Rhea. You're tuned in big time. It's just all stuff that I've always contemplated, but sometimes little things spark for me to talk about it. Because I don't, and oh my God, I have like the most major conversations with my husband about this stuff, because I'll stand up for what I believe no matter what. And I truly believe that. The more we feed the wolf, the more it will ravage. Exactly. The more we feed, and how do we feed? Through our focus, through our energy, whatever. This just makes you step back. What are you putting your focus on? Are you focusing on fighting against something? Or are you focusing on nourishing and expanding the soul and your heart, your life within you? And it's not selfish to focus on your life, because it's through your life that you change. And I don't even want to say change, because nothing really needs to change, but it changes automatically when you tune in to higher perceptions of love and light. We are all love. We are all love, but we've been like, and we chose it. It's a blessing again. We chose our experiences. We chose those little sprinkles of clouds to create a veil, a block to who we really are, which is this, guys. This is always who we are. Search for this in every situation. And I know, like my husband will say, oh, that's just a good reason to make excuses for other people's behavior. No, I don't think so. If that's the way he chooses to see things, that's fine. And it's not that I'm excusing. I realize that they are operating for their own experience, and those involved are also operating cooperatively for the ultimate. The ultimate, though, is in that expansion, the expansion of love. Because, you know, when we pass on and we don't live in this illusion, and they say it's an illusion, but you know what? It's truth while we're here, because it's part of the experience, and it's what we take all that energy into our soul throughout eternity. We're always this. So it only makes sense we came here for this big freaking game. It's a big deal. If you die, you're not really dead. You never die. You're eternal. You're on this eternal loop of God. You're never dead. It's just this little experience. It's like a dream. Mythos screams inside. It's like a dream. They say that the physical life is no different than when you waken from a dream, when you pass on. And do I know this for real? No. Have I experienced it lately? No. But it makes sense to me. It resonates. So always take what resonates, and always contemplate and always question, because it's through the questioning and seeking that you gain your answers. But ask them in an openness. Like, some people don't even question. They just carry that energy, that shield, that armor, and they can go throughout. And that's their experience too. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying they do have the power to break free of that. But they might choose for that experience never to even question, to think that's the way life always has to be, and that's the way life operates. But, you know, just my point is, any kind of labels comes sometimes from a place of judgment, if it's negative. But they say there really is no labels, but we can't just totally dismiss them because we are here in the human experience. So I'm just saying, always reach. Everything is truth if you believe it. And you know what? If you're feeling shitty about something, ask yourself, what do I believe? What do I claim as truth that creates this feeling? And in that, you have the power to change it. You don't have to claim it just because you have for the last up teen years. You don't have to hold it as your own. You, as a God creator, ray of light, have the power to, hey, say, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And that's okay. Change, grow, expand, break free, break off that shell of limited perception and awareness and living. All right. So, you know what? I'm going to start with the card today because I believe this is the one for today. I'm sorry about the lighting, guys. It's this one. It's Mythos. It's a little foam bubble. He's washing his hands, and it's in the perfect shape of the heart. And like I said before, soap represents cleaning. We think we need to kill the germs. We need to clean the energy. We need to rid it of immoral behavior. Well, guess what? Fighting it, judging it, labeling it, that's not the way you do it. You find the love in it, and you find the higher perception, and you find the higher awareness, and then automatically your reality shifts, and then you no longer even experience those things. As long as you give it focus, and as long as you give something attention, it's going to stay present in your life because it's your attention and your focus to it that creates it to begin with. And ask yourself, what do I want to create? It's as simple as that. Your focus, your energy, what you put your focus, attention, and belief creates. And if you don't like it, change it. It's that simple. And the message is thank you. And it says random proclamations of gratitude act as many portals in which abundance flows. When you release the emotions of gratitude, it creates pathways for the universe to send more energy your way to be thankful for. And that's basically what I just said. What you focus on grows. And when you focus in gratitude and thankfulness, it does. It creates a portal of that very energy to manifest, reflect, and be created in your reality. Simple as that. And I know I say simple as that, but it isn't always that simple. But again, many steps. Changing your thoughts, changing one little thing, or tuning into your heart to become in a more direct line of communication to what your heart is, what your experience is. Everything is truth for whoever is experiencing it, but it doesn't mean each other's truth we claim as our own. And truth, like I always say, it's got different layers. It's expanding, it's growing. Truth is true for the person that believes in it, because that's what they create, because you have God power within you. All right. Let's just ask for a paragraph for today. All right, let's read this. It's kind of a biggie. All right, what it says is, I, without even knowing it, was harboring a tremendous amount of guilt. This guilt was brought on by my lack of obedience and self-discipline to fulfill false expectations. I couldn't understand why I was so impatient. My husband would say I'm a curmudgeon. Why I was so impatient, why I had no motivation, and why I hated getting up in the morning. It was the dead weight I was carrying that was blocking life from flowing through me. I felt guilty that I wasn't a good enough mother. I felt guilty I wasn't a good enough wife. I felt guilty that I did not look good enough, exercise enough, ate the wrong foods. I would feel guilty if I didn't feel like cleaning. After all, that was my duty for my family. I felt guilty if I didn't feel like being nice. I am surprised that I functioned as well as I did, considering I was harboring so much judgment against myself. I was basing my worth as a person, a wife, a mother, on other people's opinions of their own personal expectations of how these roles should be fulfilled. And when my actions to fulfill expectations were built on guilt, this infused my actions with energy that would produce more guilt. It would be better for me to do nothing than to take action based in guilt. It would not produce a good result because it was not of the heart. And that definitely goes along with what I was saying, because, you know, when earlier, the first thing I was talking about, when we judge others and label them as immoral or evil, it's still a reflection of something we're holding against ourselves at some layer or level. And sometimes things on the outside appear to us really strongly. It doesn't mean that it's equal proportionate to the judgment that we hold against ourselves, but it has to be something to get our attention. Things get our attention in order to help us to make a difference, see it differently, break through an old belief. And this here guilt is like, it's useless. And if you're feeling heavy, like I always say, if you're taking on other people's expectations, and those are based in beliefs that we claimed as our own since we were born, but it still was for a reason for us to break through those, to break through them. And even though we didn't need to do that as spirit, we came here just for the experience of it, for the contrast. And it's almost like a little superhero going into this world not knowing it's a superhero. That's what you guys are. Your superheroes come with your own superpower, which is your divine frequency imprint that you have. You just got to tune in here to tune into it and to tap into it. And then through that, and what's a superhero usually do before they go into superhero mode, guys? They usually go, psh! They change into this new outfit. They got a cape. They got the spandex. They got a mask. That is symbolic, guys. Sorry, let that guy go by. I'm in the woods, but there's a road that, runs by. All right. So what is that symbolic of? Those uniforms, those action superhero outfits, they're symbolic of the energy that you are holding. And when they go into superpower mode, they automatically tune into their superpowers. And their energy and what they're wearing is a reflection of that. Same with us. If I'm carrying guilt, it's heavy, low vibration. It's not the truth of who I am. Yet, it might not be the truth of the core of who I am, but it's still my truth in the moment because I'm producing that and I keep creating that and I am living that energy. But we're so lucky because as a superhero, we can burst through it. We can whip off those clothes and put on our cape and fly. All right. Don't mean to get so intense, guys, but obviously I'm extremely passionate about love and light and truth. And again, I say truth, but it's my truth. It doesn't have to be your truth. I just challenge you to find the purest form of your truth. And in that, it just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding and becoming clearer and clearer and clearer. All right, guys. I love you guys. Thank you for joining in and thank you for tuning in. And if you're tuning in, and even if you think all that I say is hogwash, there's something still there for you, something to contemplate, something to challenge yourself, something to look within. And if it feels good, it's true. It's true. It's a higher version of the truth you should be living, because the ultimate truth, and I say ultimate, it can get so confusing, all these terms. If it feels good, it's right. If it feels good and it feels peaceful, you're on the right path. And I'm coming from a deeper level of peace, a deeper level of truth. I'm not talking about an instant gratification through an addiction, because, eating a piece of chocolate cake tastes yummy to me and feels like truth. And, I will embrace that experience. But again, we're in the human physical plane. We need that balance. But, enjoy life, and it feels good, do it. But you take anything to an extreme, like even cults, even people in their beliefs, you take it to the extreme, it prevents you from living life. Even my son Caleb, he doesn't want me talking about him, but anybody gets so entrenched in spirituality, it almost can make it hard for them to live the physical experience. And so we do still need that balance. All right, guys, anything else? Hey, Lauren, I miss you being on East Coast time. I catch your lives better, but I caught you the other night later. Thank you, everybody who has joined, and I love you all, and thank you for participating, and even you just zooming in or tuning in or watching later, because there really is no time. You are really here now, and you are participating. You are collectively participating in the energetic vibration of this little live. All right, so we're going to end it with a nice little view of the sun, guys, if I can find it. Where are we? And this is what you guys are. You are love and light. The sun is a reflection of the pure love and light you are. And may you shine with the entirety of all the light that you are.